Hello everybody, welcome to the third edition of Mortgages Made Easy. Today we're going to be looking at credit reports. Just quick thank you for liking and sharing the previous two videos. And if you could keep sharing and liking the videos, obviously once again it's promoting me, my business, but it's also hopefully helping people and making mortgages easier. So let's get on to the credit reports then. Relevant to everybody. Everybody has got a credit report, a credit file. It is what it says it is, really. It is a financial footprint of all the credit that you've taken out. The people who will then be looking at this to give you credit in the future will use this as an indicator of how you have behaved with credit in the past. And that's how they'll predict how much they'll lend to you and at what interest rate they'll lend to you in the future. Now, normally, people look at their credit score. So they normally say, got a credit score of 755, 888, 999. I'm like, great, okay. But we need to see the full credit report, credit file. So is the score important? Yes, the score is important if you want to use it as an indicator or a stimulus to get your mind focused on your credit file, the overall file which sits behind the score. Because if you log on to your full credit report, I'll put a link to the one that I specifically use in the comments, and you see that your score is a lot lower than you thought it was, then that score has stimulated you to then investigate why it's low and then to improve it. Okay, so then if you've got a really high score, say 999, that's where it can get a bit tricky, really, because some people think, I got a score of 999, perfect credit, and they may well have, and that is fair play, that's really good going. But if they have got a score of 999, it could be because they've never had much credit. For example, young couples, first-time buyers who come to me, they might have just had one or two cars on finance. So then when the lender's looking at this, although the score is perfect, the file itself is not as strong. So it's like a strength in depth. And then they can't really predict or project their future behavior. And then that can affect the mortgage which they can go for regards to loan to value, deposit size, interest rate. So what I would say is, yes, use your score as an indicator, but really you need to look into the whole of the credit file to make sure it's strong. So what can I do to improve my credit score? That's what everybody needs to know. So there's loads of information out there. I tried to condense it into 10 points. So the first one is just make sure your name and your address are on there and they're spelt correctly, because otherwise they won't be able to locate exactly who you are, and not all of your credit might follow you from address to address, or it might not get pulled incorrectly because they don't know that your name is spelled incorrectly, for example. Number two, get yourself on the electoral roll so they know exactly where you are living. That also helps me a little bit as well, because it gives some of your address history. I will ask for this, but I can confirm it on the credit report. Make sure all your payments are correct. So just double check all the credit that you've got at the moment. Make sure it corresponds with your balances and also what you're paying, because if these are out, then the whole credit report's out. In addition to that, when you look at your credit file, always cross-reference that with your bank statement, because you might have something coming out that you weren't even aware of. I've come across that several times in the last couple of years. Financial links. So if you were married or cohabiting, you have a financial link, a financial relationship with somebody. If you do split up, unfortunately, then you need to split up financially as well. So make sure that you're separated from them financially, because they could affect your credit score as well, or credit file. Any CCJs, IVAs, defaults, just make sure, if they are on there, just make sure all the dates are correct. So if you satisfy your CCJ, you satisfy your default, and the date's incorrect, make sure you go back, tell the company when you satisfied it and get it updated, because those dates are integral when it comes to specifically mortgages. With regards to lenders, they have different criteria, different amounts of months, years, etc., from when a default or a IVA will not be taken into account, and this can affect the overall mortgage. Pretty simple one. Try not to have any late payments, so pay your bills on time. Just make a conscious effort to do that, because you just don't want things which you can pay for but you're just late with affecting your ability to lend. Keep your balances on your credit cards, on your revolving credit low. Don't go up around the credit limits, because that doesn't help your credit at all. Only apply for new credit as needed, so don't just go around getting sporadic credit just for the sake of it. Sort of manage your credit applications. If you have got bad credit, don't panic. Loads of people are in the same situation, especially after COVID. I suppose it might affect a lot more people. Don't be embarrassed about it. Work it out, but then get yourself a credit builder card. They have got horrendous interest rates, but I suggest just putting a small amount of money on it each month and then paying it off at the end of the month. Just make sure you pay it off, don't incur the interest, and this should build your credit, along with the other points that I mentioned just earlier. And then the 10th one is be patient. It's you can build your credit, but this is not going to happen like straight away. You're not just going to see it flying up day after day after day. This process does take a few months in order, well, say a few months. It can, the advice is, if you're looking to buy a house or remortgage, and you really need to look 12 months at your credit file to make sure that everything's in order. But you can build your credit, but you will have to be patient. So please just be patient with it and persevere, because it'll be worth it in the long run, because you'll be saving yourself money, because you'll be able to get a better interest rate and a better deal on your mortgage. So why do I want your credit report? Well, firstly, like I said in a previous video, it just gives me everything in one place. I have clear, concise information where I can see exactly what credit you've got, what the payments are, when the credit started, and when it's due to finish. These are all questions that the lender will ask me, so I've got to fill them in. I can cross-reference your credit with your bank statements, and then if there's something coming out in the bank statements which I think is credit and it's not on the credit report, we then go back to the credit report and see why is it on here. And then normally it's because it doesn't pull some information through. And if I pull that information through, then it's like I could have recommended if I didn't have the credit report, I could recommend one lender, but because when all the information comes through, the credit report changes slightly, I can then make a more educated decision on exactly what lender or lenders to put you with. So it's important that I can cross-reference each credit payment and help you with the lenders to approach. So broad, this topic. I tried to condense it the best I can. Just a couple of quick no-nos really. Read something when I was researching, a couple of payday loan companies are saying if you take payday loans, it'll improve your credit. If you're looking for a mortgage, just do not do that. It will completely obliterate a number of lenders who will lend you with good rates. So please don't do that. And another little one they mentioned was try not to draw any money out on credit cards. It just shows that you're maybe not managing your money as well as you could be. So just two little tips there. So that's it from me. I understand that this is a massive topic and you'll probably have loads of questions, but all I can do is urge you to use my link, download the full credit report and have a good read of it. Anything you don't understand, just contact me and say, look, Lee, what is this? We're going forward for a mortgage, or even if you just want to start tidying it up, I'm more than willing to help any way I can. So that's it from me. Mortgages Made Easy, episode 3, credit reports. Hope everyone is safe, well and healthy. Have a lovely day, and I hope to work with you in the future. Thank you very much.